Hi, thanks for coming back. I wanted to talk today about something that happened yesterday. I was having a conversation with my friend Hannah, and she was mentioning how swimming and singing are both really useful or helpful things for soothing our nervous system. And I know that I, for one, have a lot of trouble with my nervous system in that it's kind of shot. and and what I mean by that is after having adrenal fatigue or burnout for so many years, which was especially pronounced in my years before moving here to Portugal, well, obviously your body just releases a boatload of cortisol and all these hormones get out of whack and everything becomes heightened and you cannot relax and you cannot sleep anymore, or your sleep quality is poor, etc., etc. Your digestion goes, your sex hormones go, everything goes wonky. And it is a classic problem, and especially enhanced by those of us that are in our middle ages. So a focus on nervous system is a really, it's an ideal view to have and keep in the back of your mind at all times. Well, in terms of your health focus anyway. So this is what I'm trying to focus on because I have a crazy exaggerated startle reflex. People will say, "Why are you so scared? You knew I was here." And I say, first of all, it wasn't fear, it was startle. And yes, I knew you were in the room, but it doesn't matter. My brain cannot, deliver the message that nothing bad is happening. I just hit the roof. And I think a lot of you might relate to this, but it is sometimes embarrassing because I'll be out in public and someone will, clap loud or drop a thing. And I'm like, oh, I'm just sent off, and it's like a fainting goat or something, but not cute and funny. So when she mentioned singing, I actually didn't know that, but of course I knew it intuitively because I used to sing, and she didn't know that. And I said, yeah, I did used to sing. And by that I mean, I grew up in a house that taught 4-part harmony, a cappella, and I joined choirs in school, and I really enjoyed it. Then in my 20s, I became a singer-songwriter with my good friend Candace, and we started writing music together, and we had pie in the sky ideals about moving to Toronto from Edmonton to hit the big time. Well, that's not what happened. She's still totally doing music. I'm super proud of her, and I'm not. And that's okay. I had another path, but music is still really important to me. I listen to it all the time. I'm always and forever building a soundtrack for my life. But singing itself is something that I really love, and it feeds my soul, but there's a technical component to it. And, especially if you've been out of practice for a really long time, you start to lose it. The muscles of your voice and your diaphragm kind of, need work. And so in the pandemic, or towards the tail end of it, I saw this thing on, I don't know if it was Instagram or YouTube, and it was some dude in Toronto giving away one free vocal lesson. And so I decided to I thought, whatever, I'm going to do it, and I'm ready to actually pay for lessons because I've never had formal lessons ever, one-on-one. And I thought that would be a really good thing for me to sort of, I've got more time in my life. I wasn't working at the time, or I was, sort of pulling away from tonic, and sort of looking at where can I direct my attention and my energy and feed my soul, etc. So I just want to say, I went to this lesson, and this guy, well, he was just a dick, and that's just the facts. And I realize that he's there to teach me, and I'm there to take constructive criticism and feedback, of course. But he's like, okay, name the song you want to sing. And okay, I'll admit, it was an ambitious song. It's Stay by Rihanna. I love that song. I actually don't know much else of her music, but there is something about that song. And it's actually in a range that I can sing because I sing alto, or on the lower end of things. And in that particular song, I'm able to do it. Am I able to be Rihanna? No. Can I emulate her? No. But do I just feel so much joy when I sing it? Yes. Do I have stage presence? No. Do I know any of that? No. So he focused immediately on the fact that I wasn't doing anything with my hands, which is ironic because I am a complete hand talker. But when I'm singing, I'm frozen because I'm auditioning for this guy. And, you know, he's younger than me and he's very musician chic, you know, and it was like, fine, you be you, but don't be a dick. I know I'm a middle-aged woman coming in here and I do not seem very rock and roll to you, but I came in here for coaching on my voice and like form and you know, how to hit the notes and how to, like, you know, the tricks and I wanted to foster a relationship where my voice was coaxed out and with more power and more emotion or whatever. But he just totally zeroed in on my lack of stage presence or my hand movements or lack of it. And I just was so dashed. It was super deeply humiliating hour of my life, especially not helped by the fact that he was in this like subterranean building off Yonge Street and in Toronto, and it was hot and there was no air movement. So I was like, holy shit, I was just, oops. I was so hot and bothered, quite literally. And yeah, I put myself out there and that's great. And I was ready for it, but he just focused on all the wrong things. So I guess what I'm saying is I never went back, and he also bait and switched me because he said it was a free lesson, and in the end he billed me, and I thought, oh, and you know, probably if I don't think I had hit 50 yet, but at that point I didn't say anything to him. I just paid him and went on my way. And but now I might actually say something, because I have those extra few years under my belt, and I don't know, you start to get a little more clear about things. So anyway, what I realized was you have to be so careful. I have to be so careful, we do, about the information we take in from other people who are just not in alignment with us. He thought he was doing his job to make a performer out of me, and really we just weren't lined up. I was at the wrong place, and he had the wrong idea of what I wanted, so I can forgive him, even though I've just called him names. But the point is that it's really dawning on me now how damaging that was, even though I was like, whatever, and I rolled it, I just let it roll, but I never really returned to it. So this isn't me telling you that I'm taking lessons now, but I did, after my coffee with Hannah, came home and I put on that song, and turns out my house has amazing acoustics. So that was a big bonus, because sometimes your house can just suck up the sound and it gives you no love and no reverb, nothing. But this thing is concrete and the ceiling is vaulted at one end. And so it's like, wow, I have my own little mini cathedral to sing in. So but the point is that it made me feel good, and it made my nervous system feel really calm afterwards. And the other thing that Hannah had mentioned is that it forces you to breathe, because if you're struggling with anxiety at all, which I have a certain amount of, and right now it's a fairly anxious time in my life, and I thought, well, that's cool. It's making you breathe from your diaphragm, which feeds your whole central nervous system, among many other systems, actually. So I just wanted to share with you the sort of like moment, the aha moment of that misalignment, the damage it did. But it was up to me to recognize it and sort of wrap my head around it and make peace with it and come to this point. So I'm getting real shiny from the setting sun. It feels a lot, I don't know, maybe there's something going on with my camera, but oh, it's beautiful. I'm going to spin you around so that you can see, because I really shouldn't keep this from you. Well, anyway, it's so peaceful here. It's so, I had to come back. It's so peaceful. I don't know if you can hear the birds and the dogs, but man, the sun makes all the difference. On the cloudy days, it is hard to be alone, and yeah, it's just something I'm adjusting to. Somehow in town, when I was in town previously, it was just a lot easier, but there is something, well, you have to face yourself, and And I'm pretty good at that, but it doesn't mean that there aren't hard moments, especially just with things that I'm figuring out in my life right now and going through. So anyway, thanks for listening today. I would love to know if you've had an experience also where somebody just like took the wind out of your sails, and did you ever get back up? How did you handle it? Did you bounce back? Or are you watching this and going, hey, actually, I let that happen? Because I would like to encourage you to reframe it and forgive and forget and just move through it and then start again. Start again. We can always start again every day. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.